So credit is a necessary function of our society to do anything. So you need to be able to have efficient access to credit, which is other people's money.
So if you practice in the pack and you make mistakes, then when you ask your teacher, what I do wrong here, she could tell you, and you go and take the test and you won't make those same stupid mistakes. So rehearse, plan, rehearse. And once you plan and once you rehearse, you're going to go out, and the next step is to take that step and take action.
But technically, since you have access to other people's money, wouldn't that put you in debt?
It does. It does put you in debt. But there's a such thing as good debt and bad debt. So, and that was actually a great question.
Hi, my name is Dina from the All Stars Money Program. The All Stars Money Program is a great program. It teaches you about things you wouldn't learn in school. Two of the things I learned is assets and investments. When I grew up, I want to be a business owner, and the program helped me understand like the things I have to go through to like have my business.
What's happening, everybody? This is DJ coming to you live. That's right, DJ. We're dropping dimes with we're dropping dimes and stats with DJ and Jax. And my main man Jax is on the scene. Just came off a championship weekend. He wants to talk a lot about football. He wants to talk about basketball and want to talk about the NFL season is about to be upon us. And matter of fact, Jax, you're going back to school too, right?
Yep.
So what's new there, big guy? Talk to me.
About the championship weekend. We won the first game in the semifinals, and then we won that game by 2 points. Buzzer beater shot by my friend, teammate Marcus. Yeah, and then we made it to the championship, then lost by 2.
Okay. Hey man, nothing wrong with we can't win all championships, although winners, we hate losing more than we love winning, but at least you gave it your all in getting prepared for the next season. That's all that matters at the end of the day. So hey man, congratulations on playing a great summer season. And let's get ready for the fall when the real basketball kicks off. And with that said, hey man, let's jump right in and let's talk about the NFL. The preseason is over. The NFL season is about to begin. If I'm not mistaken, I think it kicks off next Thursday or next Monday night or something. But we're on it. So what's the first things we need to talk about here?
I guess we could do players getting re-signed for the NFL first. Trey Hendrickson got re-signed with the Cincinnati Bengals, which I think is a good move because the Bengals defense last year was one of the worst in the league, and that's easily their best defensive player.
Okay. Well, even with him being their best defensive player, they gave up a lot of points and a lot of yards throughout the season. So you think that one guy on the defensive end is going to make the difference this year? Just going to put them over the top and get them back into, playoff contention?
Yeah, I think the Bengals, they're either going to miss out on the playoffs barely or they're going to make the playoffs because they're most likely not winning their division, especially with Lamar and the Ravens. And then the Steelers, they're pretty good too.
Okay. Well, I think that the jury is still out on the Steelers as far as I'm concerned. I know they added Aaron Rodgers. I know they added, what's the DB name?
Jalen Ramsey.
Jalen Ramsey. I mean, he used to be an all-pro. I think his best days is behind him, to be honest with you. I think they're just plugging him in to play. I'm not even sure. Is Minka Fitzpatrick still on the Steelers?
No, he got traded in that trade for Jalen Ramsey.
Okay, he got traded in that trade. Okay, so that weakens them as well. So it'll be interesting to say. I think the approach that the Cincinnati Bengals have taken in the preseason by playing Joe Burrows and playing the first team a lot of time, which is unusual in the preseason. I think that's going to get them off to a great start because their challenge has not been playing good football, is playing good football in the beginning of the year and not getting behind the eight ball. So I think it's imperative that they come out and start something like 4-2, 5-3 versus starting out typically 0 and
0 and
3,
3. Yeah.
1-5. That's a hard hill to come back and be victorious on when you fall that far behind. Statistically, as far as making the playoffs, I think there's only been maybe one or two teams that actually have made the playoffs that have started out the season 0 and 2 or 0 and 3. And Cincinnati is definitely not one of them. So with that said, let's look across the landscape. I think that's a team-friendly 1-year salary bump for Trey. I don't know if he'll be back with Cincinnati the year after because they definitely will designate him under the franchise tag, or they'll basically just let him walk out the door, which in essence, for my money, I don't think you really lose anything because they haven't won any playoffs or made it to the playoffs with him, even though he's had 35 sacks over the last 2 seasons. Albeit he is their best disruptive defensive end to get to the quarterback. They need some more people inside the box. They need a defensive tackle. They need a guy over the center that can actually plug up those gaps because they give up a lot of yards on carries and their secondary is suspect. So I think they have a lot more to improve upon, but I think they will get out to a fast start based on how they've taken their approach to the preseason. Now, with that said, I don't know if you had a chance to keep track on the Micah Parsons situation. I think it's a very precarious situation for a couple of reasons. Number one, Micah still has 2 or 3 years left on his existing rookie contract. So really, Jerry Jones is in the driver's seat. And as far as I'm concerned, Micah Parsons has made a strategic mistake because one, he has the number one sports agent in the football world representing him. So he should have never gotten into any type of conversations about salary extensions or anything with Jerry Jones in the first place, albeit Jerry Jones is not only the owner, the president, and the general manager. Anytime a conversation even remotely start leaning in towards, hey, let's talk about, extending you early, Micah Parsons should have said, hey, you know what? You need to take up that conversation with my agent. So right now, there's nothing that if I'm Jerry Jones, the owner, I'm not giving in one shape, size, or form because, hey, guess what, young man? You may have outplayed your first couple of years of your rookie contract, but the reality is you're still under the rookie contract. And you still have 2 years left that I don't have to do anything but let you play it out. Albeit it would be smart for me to extend you right now so I can pay less for you in the future than in the present, which is one of the main reasons why the Dallas show has been nothing but a circus for the past 4 or 5 years, because they have traditionally waited until the end of the preseason, going into the beginning of the NFL season, and not extending their key players. CeeDee Lamb, Dak Prescott, to name a few. They're now starting this trend to have this upset the chemistry in the locker room because he's not playing. And if you think that he's going to come right off the non-playing field and get right into football shape and be the guy you need him to be as he's been over the past 3 years, you actually are kidding yourself. And I would be cautious to make sure that he doesn't, come out and try to, be explosive and potentially have an injury. I would be more concerned about him not being in football shape and potentially getting himself damaged or hurt because he's trying to show that he still can just walk off the street, step on the playing field without any, conditioning whatsoever, because we know that if you're hitting the gym and playing the game live, it's two different things. That's the reason why the preseason is a little bit important and conditioning is very important. So that's something that I'll be, interested to take a look at as well. Man, Jerry Jones is a master of marketing. If you haven't seen the new Cowboys docu-series on Netflix. I'm telling you, it is amazing. You got to watch it, Jax. So
All
that's
right.
my take on Micah Parsons. What's your take?
I agree with you. I have been seeing trade rumors. I just don't think they're gonna happen. Even if they do happen, even if Jerry Jones buys into it, it's just a lot another team would give up for Micah Parsons because he is a top three linebacker in the league and a great rusher to get to the QB.
Yes. At the same time, he has a lot of glaring weaknesses as well. He doesn't play the run well. He gets out explosively, and then they a lot of times let him come up the field and let him use his aggressiveness against himself, where a lot of times he's out of the play. So even though he has had a great, beginning in his first 2, 3 campaigns, he's not changing the needle for Dallas to get into the playoffs. He's not Reggie White. He's not Bruce Smith. He's not even TJ Watt in terms of being disruptive. I think the problem with Parsons is that they try to play him at too many different positions because he's a freak athlete instead of letting him focus on one position and dominating that. As you saw last year, he ran out of gas towards the end of the year. If you were paying attention, he was very ineffective down the stretch. Where again, his over aggressiveness, trying to over pursue the quarterback just to put up stats, basically neutralized his effectiveness and the benefit of having a greater defense. And Dallas really might benefit for him not playing initially because they can have some other cats step up to the plate. That's my humble opinion as it pertains to them. Another thing that we have to look at is the circus show in Cleveland is still going forward. And I know you want to talk about, the latest transactions that occurred there. So let's get up to date on the circus show in Cleveland.
Um, Kenny Pickett got traded to the Raiders, what moves up Shadur in the um QB spots. He might still not make it on the 53-man roster, but I actually do hope that happens. Um, I hope another team picks up Shadur. I don't even care what team it is at this point. As long as he can play. I will say in the preseason game, Dylan Gabriel did really outperform Shadur by a lot. They took Shadur out for the last couple minutes in the fourth quarter, and yeah, he was taking dumb sacks. He was trying to run away like how we did in college, but it doesn't work in the NFL.
Well, you know what? You make a great assessment. And here's the reason why he's a fifth round quarterback and probably may not should have even been drafted. Now, as you looked at his ineffectiveness to step up in the pocket on multiple occasions, he had 5 sacks. He had more sacks than he had completed passes. And 3 out of those 5 sacks were totally his fault. And the problem was when they broke down the film, man, he had multiple receivers wide open that if he would have just stepped up in the pocket instead of trying to read the blitz and just read the play, he could have made some very simple passes over the middle multiple times. He looked like a person that did not know how to read defenses at all. He looked like a person that was confused and tried to play hero ball. That does not work. You're not Lamar Jackson. You're not Josh Allen. You're not even Justin Herbert. I think that exposure that was glaring, really, in my opinion, he may be fortunate just to be on a practice squad, but he has made the 53-man roster. That has happened. However, I don't want, as a football team, all of the sideshow of somebody constantly having questions for a third string quarterback that all his job is to do is to hold the clipboard and actually lead the practice team. So that's going to be a distraction in Cleveland. And right now, from the film that I saw on him in his last preseason game, and I look back to his key games in college, the most important ones, he looked like the same guy. When he played against Power 5 football teams, he looked just as bad as he looked in the third preseason game. And here's another thing. We have to stop with all this excuse-itis. What do I mean? You play what? 12U AAU basketball?
Yeah.
And typically you're playing against the best team's best players, correct?
Yeah.
Now let me ask you a question, Jax, and be completely honest with me. Your team rolled out on the court and they brought in their 11-year-olds. What type of game is Jax having against an 11-year-old team that is 2 levels beneath your talent as a player? What type of game is Jax having?
I'll say a triple double at least.
Now, you just said a triple double at least. Here's the bogus argument for people crying for Shedeur. Oh, they had the 3 and 4th rated players on the field who will be working at Home Depot and Lowe's tomorrow, and that was unfair to him. Now, I'm a baller. When I played ball, I can't remember a time, Jax, when I stepped on the field, baseball, bowling, or basketball, and I played against the JV squad or the sophomore squad, and I did not dominate and embarrass the opposition because they are not in my talent level. So that's a moot argument because guess what? He should have lit them up. He should have thrown a couple of TDs. He should have been on time and wearing them cats out because if those cats, which they did, get cut, why was he not heads and above better as a play caller, an athlete, and a decision maker? Does it make sense? Does that make sense? Have you ever played in any sports game that you were playing against somebody you knew you were far better than, that you just did not just dominate them? And let me give you an example. I know you watched a little bit of my Little League World Series baseball, right? The Chinese Taipei team, they won the whole entire thing. They end up playing against Nevada, and they beat the brakes off of them. They beat them like 7-8-0 because they were far better than them, and there was no competition. And Nevada was fortunate enough to get past Connecticut, which had a better team, but they just didn't get the breaks. But my point to everybody out there who are, Shedeur fanboys and fangirls, hey, let's call a spade a spade. If I'm playing against the JV in the Farsaw team and I am all-state senior quarterback, I'm wearing them out. I don't care if my offensive line can't give me a clean pocket. But here's the irony, Jax. When I went back and looked at the film, he had a lot of time. He had more time than he had in the preseason game number 1, and he could not read a defense because in the preseason game 1, it was just a vanilla defense that they threw out against him. Preseason game number 3, you had people fighting for jobs. And now the defensive coordinators are trying to get strategical, mix in some different, schemes, baffle, confuse a quarterback, and he looked like a deer in the headlights. And that back paddling stuff, Man, he's got to stop that. And everybody who's anybody, and the only person that I saw, no, it was two people, two pundits that actually critiqued the film correctly. Orlovsky from ESPN, who's been a big time Shador, fan, and then Chesney from Colorado, who's been a big fanboy. But to their credit, they said he stunk up the place, and they showed on the film that he missed a lot of simple plays. So all I'm saying to everybody out there, Jax, if you are a baller and you are stepping on the field, on the court, or the baseball diamond against the JV team or the Farsoft team, and you don't dominate them, you never were a baller. And that's what we saw on display in the finality of preseason game 3. He is lucky just because the name on the back of his jersey, he has a job. I'm just being honest with you. Same thing goes for his knucklehead brother. Here it is, an undrafted free agent. You don't even get a shot if your name on the back of the jersey isn't Sanders. And what do you go out there and do? You go out there and let somebody ride you into throwing a punch at them, and you're fighting for a chance to even be on a team. And now the coach has got to address somebody who normally wouldn't even make a team at all in his foolishness and his immaturity. Let that be a lesson learned. What's your take on that, Jax?
It's just what is he doing? Like he was drafted. He was not drafted for a reason. Um, I'm surprised the team picked him up. Like you said, he would have never been picked up in the NFL if Sanders was not on the back of his jersey. Throwing a punt and you're undrafted, trying to get a roster spot on a great team like the Buccaneers, and it's preseason.
Unbelievable. And here's the reality, that's his last film for other coaches and GMs to look at. Ask yourself a question. Are you inviting that guy to your camp? Are you claiming him off of waivers when, number one, he's undersized? He's trying to play safety. He's barely 6 feet tall, barely a buck 90, and you're trying to make a team, but you're bringing all this other extra baggage that's unnecessary. So why am I going to give you a shot? You know what? The CFL and the UFL got your name calling. I don't even think, other than maybe, I don't know what his following is. He's definitely not his younger brother Shador, so he doesn't have the following to draw somebody to watch a UFL football game. Who knows if somebody will even watch him in the CFL, which is the Canadian Football League. He may have just, sealed his fate as playing professional football. What do you think?
I agree with you. If I'm a head coach for any football team, any professional football team, I'm not signing him.
I mean, pure and simple. Here's what the optics look like. The Sanders family look like a bunch of bumbling idiots in the final preseason games. And I know last week we applauded his ability to negotiate contract. Business wise, hats off to them. As far as you handle yourself as a professional, you have to be a professional. Another optic that didn't look good because he's putting himself above the team. What did he do, body language, when they didn't let him come in and finish that 2-minute drill that Huntley came in and did? What did you see Shador do on the sidelines?
He was just he was just like I don't really know how to start like gloopy. He was like it's
Yeah,
your fault.
And he walked down to the end of the field away from his entire team. Now you're a 5th round draft pick. So now you got the circus following you because you want to separate yourself from the team because you're bigger than the team and you're a 5th round draft pick. So again, you're showing me the true essence of your entitlement privilege mentality. This goes back to draft day. What did he do on draft day? He had a huge ensemble cast at his home, money on the table, all these people. No, I'm not going to go to the NFL draft. I'm going to hold my own draft party because I'm legendary. So we're starting to see he doesn't handle adversity well at all. And like a lot of pundits said, when has he ever had to compete for a starting quarterback job in his whole entire career from the moment he played Pop Warner till he played college football? Never, because his dad has always given him the job. Has he not? And far as I'm concerned, I want my quarterback quiet. I want him regal. I want him distinctive. All this unnecessary stuff. Hey, man, that looks good when you're winning. When you're not winning, what does that look like? That looks like the problem child. Like my man Barry Sanders used to say, hey, man, you get in the end zone, act like you've been there. Barry Sanders would score a touchdown. What do? He just flicked the ball to the ref. Shador, he gets a first down play. What have you accomplished? Show me your resume throughout your short career where you've actually won some title. I don't recall one. So hopefully he'll learn, because the odds of him getting on the field in 2025, 2026 is pretty slim, because Gabriel's going to be the next one up when Joe Flacco finally gets tired because he's 40 years of age. And unless Gabriel has a stinking, performance multiple times, Shador's not going to see any playing action, because one thing I did see that I wasn't a big Dylan Gabriel fan, but he showed me he had the ability to step up in the pocket. He had posture, and he got rid of the ball real fast.
That's what I noticed.
Multiple times. In the NFL, you have to throw receivers open. One of the things that's glaring also with Shador, he cannot tell the difference of somebody being open and not open. What do I mean? He has never thrown anybody open, albeit in the preseason game number 1, he threw some, dimes through some tight windows. But when have you ever seen him throw somebody open? And he can't tell in the NFL if I have 3-6 inches of daylight between me and the defender, I'm open as a receiver. He doesn't trust that. That's the reason why he's always backing up and he's holding the ball. Hey, man, throw the ball. Get rid of it. You got 2.5 seconds, 3 seconds max. Execute. You're concerned with throwing interceptions. Maybe you ought to be concerned with having your team in 2nd and 25, 3rd and 50. Changing the momentum. That's the problem. So moving on from that, let's talk about your guy over there in Washington, man. There's a celebration. And here's the thing. Here's what I want you to learn, Jax. Always remember this. These are schemes and tactics that the receivers and the agents use when it comes to getting their bread. And at the end of the day, if they're good, like Scary Terry is, he's going to get his bread eventually, and everything's going to be all good in the neighborhood at the home front. So let's talk about your guy, man. He had an extension, well deserved.
Yep, he got re-signed to a 3-year deal, $96 million. Him and JD5. Um, to me, that's a top five. Well, no, top seven QB and a top 15 wide receiver. They're in a great position right now. They're probably gonna be second. Well, they are gonna be second in their division for sure. Most likely gonna make the playoffs. Um, yeah, and it's just a great connection for JD5 to have a receiver like Terry McLaurin for his first 2 years as an NFL QB.
Yes, I agree with you 100%. And I believe that Washington is going to surprise a lot of people. I won't be surprised if they make it back to the
Yeah.
NFC Championship game. I think Jaden Daniels will not have a sophomore slump, which a lot of people are predicting. But man, he is just a generational talent, and he is so composed in the pocket. He always makes the right decision, and he can go to another level in terms of his ability to evade tackles, the ability to put the touch on the ball. Man, I'm
Oh,
excited
on
to
the run.
see them get out the gate, and I think they're going to get out the gate fast. The only difference is now the NFL is going to have a lot of tape on them. However, once we got to the playoffs last year, they had a lot of tape on him. So I believe that he's going to have done as much studying as the DCs have done across the NFL. And I think he's going to come out just as good. He may not have, as least amount of interceptions that he threw last year, because that was uncanny to have, less than 10 interceptions. So I think his interceptions go up a little bit, but I think his passing yards are going to go up a lot more as well. And I believe he's going to be 1,000-yard rusher as well. So he's going to have multi dynamic plays. And if I'm not mistaken, did they was it Washington? Did they get rid of the running back? What team got rid of the running back that
Oh yeah, Brian Thomas Jr. got traded to the Niners.
Right. So that cleared that up, and man, they got a couple of rookie running backs that look electrifying. So watch out for the Redskins getting out the gate fast. I mean, I'm excited about the games coming up, the movement in the NFL, and man, what else can you say but get ready for some football, baby. Get ready for some
Um,
football. I think September 5th is go time.
Speaking of running backs getting traded or released, my team, the Seahawks, we got rid of two key players. Well, not key, but two players that we could actually use on our depth chart. We got rid of Marquez Valdez Scanley. He's been known as a deep threat all his career, but he's just a mid receiver though. Um, I would say he's kind of a decent fit with Cooper Cup and JSN because they're both slot guys. So we did need that deep threat, but he is now released, and I know why we released him because we want Torrey Horton Jr. to get some catches this year as he was he looked really good in the preseason. But like I said about running back, we released Damian Martinez. Um I don't know why. He looked great in preseason. The reason why I'm kind of mad that we released him is cuz Kenneth Walker, he's always hurt. He's always getting injured at least one or two times every season, and sometimes that Charbonnet will get injured as well. So we kind of needed that depth in the running game, but I don't know why we released him. So Kenneth just has to stay healthy, and we got to give him the ball.
Yeah, I would thoroughly agree with you in that regards. With that said, You make me think about what's going on with Joe Mixon right now. The word on the street is Joe Mixon was going to be out for at least 4 games, and now they're talking about they're not even sure if uh, he'll play 2025 based on his injury from last year. So that's going to be very interesting. And now I see why we picked up Nick Chubb, who
Yeah,
also
I was
is a
about to say that.
perennial running back that gets hurt all the time. So I'm very concerned about our backfield over here at the Texans with now finding out that Joe Mixon is a lot more hurt than what they have been saying. And I'm worried that Nick Chubb always comes out explosive, but always gets hurt. So I'm concerned just as well as you are, and hopefully Joe Mixon will be able to make it back onto the playing field. But right now they're saying he's going to be out at least 4 to 5 games, and they're also saying that they're not sure if he's going to get on the field, by the end of 2025. So we're going to have to wait and see in that regard. What do you think about these couple of players that had these suspensions passed down to them? Mainly Rasheed Rice over there in Kansas City. What's your thoughts on that?
Um, just not being smart. That's really it.
So do you think that was a reasonable suspension? I think he got 6 games, or do you think he should have gotten more?
Um, I I guess it's really fine, I guess, but it's really on the player.
Mm-hmm. So what do you think the impact will have on the Kansas City Chiefs?
Um, I think that means Xavier Worthy is gonna be used a lot. I've been seeing some recordings of from Chiefs practices. They've been lining him up at running back. They've had this little play that I really liked. They had Pacheco and Xavier Worthy both in the backfield. They did like they it was a play action pass. They did a fake handoff to Pacheco, and then Worthy came around Mahomes, and Mahomes threw it to Worthy. It was basically like a play action screen,
Mm-hmm.
and it looked really good.
Okay. So with that said, the NFL always they come out with their top 100 players. What's your thoughts about the top 5? Who are your top 5 players in NFL? And who do you think they got right and who do you think they got wrong?
I think number one should be Lamar. Number two, Saquon. Number three, Josh Allen. Now four, I would say Jamar Chase. And at five, just to throw in a defensive player in there, I would do either Miles Garrett or Pat Surtain the second.
Wow. I'm looking at this and either I'm reading this thing wrong on ESPN right now. They have the audacity, Jacks, to have Saquon Barkley as number 17. That's crazy, man. That is crazy. I'm looking at the ESPN top 100, and they have Saquon Barkley at number 17. Saquon Barkley, who should have won the MVP last year, hands down, they have him at number 17. That's crazy, man. That is crazy. I don't know 4 players better than Saquon right now, yet alone 16. So right now on ESPN Top 100, they got to stop with this. They have Patrick Mahomes as number 1. They have Josh Allen at number 2. Miles Garrett, I would agree, at number 3. They have Lamar Jackson at number 4. and they have Joe Burrow at number 5. My top 5 players, man, I got to go with Lamar Jackson at 1. I got to go with Saquon at number 2. I
Yep.
got to come in with Josh Allen at number 3. I got to come in with Myles Garrett at number 4. And
Okay.
I gotta come in with Joe Burrow at number 5 and Patty Mahomes at number 6. And my number 7 is gonna be Jalen Hurts. I'm sorry. I mean, such disrespect to Jalen Hurts as well. It is ridiculous, man. I mean,
Mahomes over Jalen Hurts after last season.
that's what they have. That's what they have. Let me see what they even have Jalen Hurts listed at. Man, Jalen Hurts. They don't even have Jalen Hurts in the top 25. This is crazy. Who are the cats that put this stuff together, man?
Jalen Hurts was better than Patrick Mahomes last season and in the Super Bowl. By far,
Wow.
easily.
Jalen Hurts is coming in at number 38. Are you kidding me? Now you're
I can't
talking
even.
about, look, last year he was listed as rank was 32 at the beginning of the season last year. So how does he go from winning the Super
Yeah.
Bowl, an MVP, started out the 2024
Oh,
campaign rated as 32nd best player in the league? How does he drop to 38? And how does Patrick Mahomes wet the bed and come in the pre-rankings as number 1?
and have arguably his worst season of his career besides his
Oh,
rookie year.
without a doubt. Not arguably, convincingly his worst season in his professional career. This is the thing that cracks me up. And here's the problem with these pundits who are journalists, never stepped on the field. They have haterade in their hearts for players for whatever reason.
Oh,
And this is one of the reasons why I firmly believe that when it comes to voting for the awards, that they should be voted on by the players and the owners and the general managers only, not by the pundits or the critics. Because a lot of these cats have personal vendettas against these players for unnecessary reasons. Now, you're talking about a guy who's been nothing but a model citizen on and off the field in Jalen Hurts, and he just won an MVP in the Super Bowl. He just won the Super Bowl, and you're going to disrespect him at 38?
and Saquon didn't even have a good game in the Super Bowl.
My goodness,
Jalen
man. What is
Hurts
going on here?
should be top 10. Jalen Hurts should be top 10.
You know, maybe this was the fantasy draft. Maybe that's what I'm reading here, man, because this does not make any sense.
Even if it's fantasy, why is Mahomes number 1?
Amazing. You know, man, I can't stop from laughing in regard to this fugazi of a top 100 NFL players for the 2025-2026 campaign. You know, with that said, Jax, we're going to go to a commercial break so I can stop laughing with this foolishness with these journalists who are obviously drinking the wrong Kool-Aid today. So you're watching Dropping Dimes and Stats with DJ and Jax. We'll be right back after these words from not those guys, but the real guys.
You ever wondered what it feels like to disconnect from the world and just live in paradise? Here we go. This is our property in Zanzibar, Tanzania, one of the most exotic and coveted locations in the world, full of one of the last places you can actually eat, drink, and consume organically. At our lovely reception area. And take a look at the landscape and all of the real plants, trees, fruits, and vegetables, and everything you need to live a happy life. So here At Escape to Zanzibar, we help you escape to paradise and bliss and peace, to reset and redirect where you want your life to go. So hey, don't just take my word for it. Come experience it yourself. I'll see you soon.
We're blowing out everything. We're going to give you a master training, 3-hour course, 2 consultations. We're going to teach you how to build credit up to $100,000 interest-free for 18 months. Pay off your home in 7 to 10 years. And most importantly, create $8,333 a month passive income. It's a $997 course. You get it all today for $97. Hit that link and beat me to the master training. All right, guys, welcome back. You're watching Dropping Dimes and Stats with DJ and Jax, and we're talking about the NFL season about to come to us live on September 5. Man, I'm excited. I get to get 1 or 2 games underneath my belt before I head back to Zanzibar, Jax. So what else do we have to look forward to in the NFL season? What do we want to talk about in reference to what's going on in the NBA and the other aspects of the sports world? What's on your mind, Jax?
I haven't did this like at all in my entire life, but I've expanded my sports knowledge. Yesterday, actually for the past 2 days, I've been watching a little bit of the US Open just because how bored I've been. Because of no sports. Well, no good sports.
Hey man, this is the
It's
dog
just
days
been,
of summer, man. That happens. That's why I try to turn you on to the Little League World Series. Let's talk. Did you watch any of the Little League World Series championship at all? Talk to me, man. Talk to me.
I couldn't. Um, I'm with my granddad. Um,
What?
he's came down here.
Wait a minute, man. The game was on Saturday and Sunday, early afternoon, and it was some
Yeah.
great games. I hit your mom up and told you about the game that went into extra innings. You didn't get a chance to watch the game. Come on, man.
No, just
You
cause
would
my
have had no
granddad.
reason to turn on the U.S. Open. No reason at all, man. It was great baseball. There was a no-hitter. There was extra innings. There were phenomenal catches made. And it was just off the chain, man. I'm talking about amazing baseball. It was lively. It was fun. The weather was great. The atmosphere was spectacular. And we had the chance to, see the showcase of the Aruba team, which did phenomenal, man. I mean, they were lights out. Then you had this kid on the mound for Chinese Taipei throwing 82, 84 miles an hour, which is equivalent to 105 miles an hour on the MLB stage. Then you had this young kid that was a little lefty, a little small guy like myself, and he was just playing lights out baseball, man. Come on, man. I'm gonna have to take you to Williamsport next year. So talk to me. So you said you were bored to death and you had to turn on the US Open. So tell me, whose idea was it for you to turn on the US Open? Was it your granddad? Or was it actually you decided to watch the US Open?
Yeah, that's my
Talk to me,
papa's favorite
Jax.
sport. That's my papa's favorite sport.
So who did y'all watch? Did you watch Venus, come back at age 45 and
Yeah.
lose the first set, won the second set, and got the brakes beat off her in the third set? Talk to me. What was it about the US Open that you found intriguing?
Um, I guess I guess it's basically playoffs, so like it kind of mattered for something. So
Well, here's the thing, man. I watched the US Open. It's like NBA basketball, regular season. I don't watch it until the playoffs. And actually, the US Open was just beginning. So until they get to the semifinals and the championship round, it's not a lot to talk about. The nuance and the novelty of Venus coming back. We had hoped that she would have won at least the first round match, so we can pick up some momentum from the American side. But other than that, man, I mean, there's nobody for us to really root for. I mean, Coco Gauff, she struggled a little bit. She made it
Yeah,
through.
we watched that game.
Hmm.
She barely won. From what I heard from my papa, that he watches tennis like daily. From what I heard, she was ranked number 3.
Yeah, yeah, she's got her highest ranking ever right now. And
He looked
hats off to your papa because he's a former tennis player. He was a beast in high school and college. And so I know that's his favorite sport. But the reality is right now, I don't see Coco Gauff. I don't see what's his name? T.O. Um, the black player who the male black player who's hyped, but he never wins anything. I don't see them being in contention the last week at the U.S. Open. I hope I'm wrong, but since the simple fact that Coco Gauff is trying a new serve is what they told me. So a lot of times when you change up your serve or you change up your swing, usually it's harder to get back into championship form on the biggest stage. But I could be wrong. So you're not really going to see any super exciting tennis play until the semifinals and the championship round. And honestly, I couldn't tell you right now who's the person that everybody's watching that raises the needle for anybody. I gotta believe the ratings for the U.S. Open are not that great, other than the fact that Venus came back and she basically couldn't do nothing but show up to be 45. I mean, she's not, Martina Navratilova when she came back from retirement and kicked butt. And that's an old reference for you, but ask your papa who Martina Navratilova was. She was phenomenal. And she came back after retirement in her early 40s and actually won a championship. But Venus was just a novelty just to get the Americans, riled up and have something excited to think about. And Coco Gauff, yes, it would be nice to see her have a dominant stream where she can win a couple of majors in a row, but I don't see that happening. But perhaps we'll tune in. Personally, for my money, I don't have time to watch that right now. That's like to me, Jax, like watching paint dry on the wall, buddy. I'd probably be more in tune and smack me for saying this watching WNBA basketball. And if you're all mad that I say that, hey, that's your problem. Because the reality is, that's some boring stuff as well. I mean, the only thing I can think about right now is, man, September 5th, brother.
can't wait. I can't wait to see the Cowboys get killed.
So, if you are a sports enthusiast, your best bet right now is to turn on Netflix, watch that Cowboys docu-series. I think they have another docu series on as well, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember the name of it, but right now, man, we're in the dog days of summer. We're glad that the preseason is over. Watch the trade, lines on who's going to get traded, move back and forth on these 53-man rosters, and let's get ready for some football, baby. That's what we need to do. And if I'm
I
not
know.
mistaken, it's time to go back to school for you too. So what are you excited about going back to school, big guy?
Um, School basketball. That's about it.
That's about it. Okay. All right. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, so you're going into what grade this year?
7th.
Going to seventh grade? Okay. All right. Good stuff. So, what kind of classes will you take in seventh grade?
I don't know my classes yet,
All right.
but I just know the basic math, English, science, um, social studies, or history.
Okay. Do y'all have any classes where you can take like journalism courses or TV courses or anything like that? I would say
Elective?
yeah, yeah, your
Yeah,
electives. If
we
you
had
have an
a
opportunity to do so, Jax, I would encourage you,
yeah.
take a journalism course. Take if you have a media, elective that you can take you a media elective and start, honing your skills in that area so you can actually get better at this craft right here. You're off to a great start. I'm very proud of you. And even when it's times like this, when it's slow in the sports world, a lot of times what you'll find, which we most likely will never do, is people start focusing on the negative stuff in sports. And I'm not really much into that, just for the sake of getting content, but that's what the pop culture wants. But we're really gonna, veer away from that lane. We're only gonna talk about stuff that's absolutely necessary as it pertains to the negative stuff. But we want to keep this positive. We want to keep it upbeat because dropping dimes and the stats with DJ and Jax, it's all about having a fun, good time and just sharing our joy for sports from one generation to another. So I think, unless we have anything else to say, it's time to get ready for some football on September 5th. It's time to get ready to go back to school. And it's time for some cool weather to come in here, man. This weather is hot. Hopefully, I can send some of that hot air out to your portion of the world on the East Coast, my friend.
No, no.
Absolutely. So, what is our predictions? We made our predictions. Let's do this. Let's just tap off what we said. Week 1, the game of the week, we have the Ravens and you have the Bills in week 1. So
Where's that at? Is that in Buffalo?
I think that's in Buffalo. I think that's in Buffalo. So that's a game that we're looking forward to. I believe we have a gentleman's bet on that one. As far as I'm concerned, did we have a gentleman's bet last week? Did we bet on anything gentleman's bet wise last week?
No, not last week.
Okay, all right. So when we come back next week, I'll be getting a gentleman's lunch when the Ravens beat the Bills. Is that correct?
No, it's not happening.
It's
The
not
Bills are going
happening.
to beat the Ravens in Buffalo, and hopefully it will be kind of cold.
Okay, all right. Hey, let's leave with this. So out of the worst teams in the NFL last year, out of these 5 teams, which one do you think is going to go from worst to first?
Okay.
How about the Bengals? Do you think they'll go from worst to first?
First and what? Like just be better?
No, no. Go from worst to winning their division, making the
No,
playoffs.
no. Well, make the playoffs, not win the division.
Okay. So let's put a little gentleman's, bet on this out of the worst teams because we want to put this on record. So you had the Bengals, the Jaguars. So the Bengals, the Jaguars, the Raiders, the Saints, and the Bears. So out of those 5 teams, which one do you predict makes the playoffs? The Bengals, the
The
Jaguars,
Bengals.
the Raiders, the Saints, the Bears.
The Bengals. And the
All right.
Saints are going like 3-14 this year.
Okay. So you're taking the Bengals. All right. All right.
And
I'm going to go.
second would be the Bears.
Okay. So you're going with the Bears second. Okay. So you're going with the Bears second. All right. All right. So the Bengals and the Bears for you. So for me, I'm going to go with the Bengals as well. I think they make it into the playoffs. Man, I can't believe I'm gonna end up here agreeing with you on both fronts. I'd have to agree as well. Bengals and Bears. All right.
And
So
then
with
I
that
would
said,
have
the
the Jaguars third.
I don't see them sniffing on any playoffs at all.
Yeah, not playoffs. Probably 7-10 or 6-11.
Okay, so the Bears and the Bengals tiebreaker. Which team ends up with the best record? The Bears
Bengals.
or the Bengals? Okay.
Bengals.
So what's your prediction? What will the Bengals record be at the end of 2026?
I say the floor 8-9. The ceiling say 11-6.
11-6. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna go Bears 10-7 and miss the playoffs. I'm gonna go Bengals. I agree with you, 11-6, and they're gonna get bounced in the first round.
Yep.
So let's note that down for our record book so we can go back and consult with it. We want to thank everybody again. This is episode 4, Dropping Dimes and Stats with DJ and Jax. Next time you see us, we will be talking NFL live, week 1 football. We're going to be excited. Jax is going to talk about his first week in school, and I'll be getting ready to head off to Zanzibar, but we'll get in a game, and Jax probably will tell us about something that is strange and exciting about the U.S. Open. So until next time, everybody, have a great week. Stay fresh, stay happy, stay peaceful, and we'll see you next time.
So credit is a necessary function of our society to do anything. So you need to be able to have efficient access to credit, which is other people's money.
So if you practice in the pack and you make mistakes, then when you ask your teacher what I do wrong here, she could tell you, and you go and take the test and you won't make those same stupid mistakes. So rehearse, plan, rehearse. And once you plan and once you rehearse, you're gonna go out, and the next step is to take that step and take action.
But technically, since you have credit, access to other people's money, wouldn't that put you in debt?
It does. It does put you in debt. But there's a such thing as good debt and bad debt. So, and that was actually a great question.
Hi, my name is Dina from the All Stars Money Program. The All Stars Money Program is a great program. It teaches you about things you wouldn't learn in school. 2 of the things I learned is assets and investments. When I grew up, I want to be a business owner, and the program helped me understand the things I have to go through to have my business.